Have you ever really truly stopped to think about how you know which way is which? I mean, forget maps, forget GPS. Let's start from absolute zero. How do we build a complete understanding of direction using just our own bodies and the sky above? Let's find out.
Okay, let's start with the most basic, most fundamental direction there is. It's the one you're feeling right this very second. Down. It seems so obvious, doesn't it? But think about it. It's not your eyes that are telling you which way is down. So how does your brain actually know? You know, if you close your eyes, you can still feel it, that constant, gentle pull. That's because you have a built-in gravity detector, a specific organ that's always on, always reporting back to your brain. Any ideas what it might be?
Surprise! It's your vestibular system, tucked away deep inside your inner ear. It's incredible, really. It has these tiny little crystals that rest on hair cells, and they act like a biological level, constantly sensing the pull of Earth's gravity. It's your own personal, unshakable compass for down.
And here's the really cool part. The second you define down, you get its perfect opposite for free, up. And just like that, with one single feeling, we've established the very first axis of our three-dimensional world, that vertical line that runs right through us. So these two directions, up and down, they're connected by a half turn, a 180-degree rotation. We're going to give that fundamental angle a special name. Let's call it pi. Now, I want you to think of it not as a number, but as our foundational unit of angle. It's simply the turn that takes you from looking at your feet to looking at the sky. And this, right here, is the key idea I want you to hold on to. For just a minute, forget everything you learned in math class about pi being 3.14 something. Instead, think of our pi as a fundamental unit, just like a meter is a unit for length or a second is a unit for time. Our pi is a unit for rotation. It's one thing, the turn from down to up. Yeah, it's really important we keep these two ideas separate in our heads. On the left, you have our physical unit, pi, which is just a half turn. On the right, you have the famous mathematical constant, pi, the number. They are related, for sure, but when we're building our sense of direction from scratch, thinking in terms of this physical pi unit is just way more intuitive. Of course, we're all used to calling this angle 180 degrees, and that's totally fine. Degrees are just another scale, another way of measuring the same thing. If our pi is the fundamental unit, then one single degree is just that unit chopped up into 180 tiny pieces. It's like measuring in feet versus measuring in inches. And this is where it gets really practical. You can actually make these angles physical. Go on, try it right now. Hold your fist out at arm's length. That's about 10 degrees across. Just your pinky, that's about 1 degree. And what's wild is that the sun and the moon, which seem so huge, only take up about half a degree in the sky. It really puts things in perspective. Okay, so we've totally mastered the vertical. We know up, we know down, we're good. But now look out at the horizon. We've got a brand new problem. Our bodies don't give us any help here. There's no built-in compass for left and right. You can turn in a full circle, and every single direction feels exactly the same. So which way is the right way? There is one thing we know for sure, though. If we turn all the way around a full 360 degrees, or as we call it, 2 pi, we end up right back where we started, looking in the exact same direction. This perfect circle, this ability to turn and end up unchanged, is a fundamental property of the space we live in. It's a symmetry. But that perfect symmetry is also our biggest problem, because if every direction on the horizon is identical, spinning around is kind of pointless for finding our way. To break that symmetry, to actually get our bearings, we need an anchor. We need one fixed point out there in the world that doesn't move when we do. And for thousands of years, people in the Northern Hemisphere found the perfect anchor, a single, solitary star in the night sky that, unlike all the others that wheel overhead, appears to stay put in the exact same spot, all night, every night. Polaris, the North Star. And boom, just like that, we have it, our anchor. We can now define north as the direction you're facing along the horizon when you're looking right at the North Star. This is it. This is our starting line for the rest of the world. So now that we have north locked in, building the rest of the compass is easy. Let's walk through it. You start by facing north. Now turn right by a quarter of a full circle. That's half a pi or 90 degrees. You are now facing east. Do it again. Another half pi turn to the right and you've found south. One more gets you west, and a final half pi turn brings you right back home to north. 4 simple equal turns and we've mapped the entire horizon.
And there you have it. That's all we needed. Our two fundamental anchors, the internal, vertical sense of up, and the external, horizontal reference of north. With just these two lines, we now have a complete system to pinpoint any direction in the entire three-dimensional space around us.
So here's how this awesome system works. We just need two coordinates. The first is called azimuth. You can think of that like turning the dial on a compass. It's your angle along the horizon, starting from north. The second is altitude. That's just the angle you look up or down from the horizon. That's it.
And this leads us to another one of those simple but really powerful ideas. It actually doesn't matter which way you're facing, north, east, southwest, whatever. If your altitude is positive half a pi, a straight 90 degrees up, you are always looking at the exact same point, the very top of the sky, which we call the zenith. Straight up is universal. And of course, the same thing is true for the opposite direction. An altitude of negative half a pi is always straight down, a point we call the nadir. And look at that. We've come full circle, right back to that very first fundamental direction that we felt in our inner ear. Our system is totally complete. All right, let's put this all together with a quick test. If I told you to point to a spot in the sky with an azimuth of negative a quarter pi and an altitude of positive a quarter pi, where would you be looking? The answer? You'd be looking northeast, about halfway up the sky. So let's break that down. We start at north. An azimuth of negative a quarter pi is a clockwise turn of 45 degrees, which points you right to the northeast. Then an altitude of a quarter pi is a 45-degree tilt upwards from the horizon. See how powerful that is? Just two simple numbers can describe any point in the sky. It's so elegant. So we just built our entire understanding of direction from a single feeling in our body and one single fixed point of light in the night sky. And it kind of makes you wonder, right? If one star can provide the anchor to map an entire world, what are the fixed points, the unwavering principles or goals that you use to navigate your own life?